Well, g'day Brisbane Lions Fancast fans. Wanted to do something a little bit different for a video today, and I don't know why, don't ask me why, but I've been thinking about this quite a bit over the last couple of months, and once again, don't know why, but it's no secret that both me and Pat love Brandon Starcevich, and obviously one of the best small defenders in the league at the moment. Probably peaked around 2021, had a little bit of a dip in form in 22-23, not that he was playing bad footy or anything, he just wasn't playing the footy we know that he can. Obviously, that really changed in 2024, especially the back half of the season. His last 7 to 10 weeks, immense. And one of the great grand final performances, very unlucky not to get any sort of voting in the Norm Smith medal, but it's a midfielder's award, as they all are. So the way I see it, and I know this is boiling it down to something very, very basic, but I guess there are two types of footballers for me. There are old school, honest footballers that have athletic capabilities, and that can be sort of, taught and trained. And then there's athletes that are turned into footballers. Obviously the epitome of that is Mark Blitzarves, came from an athletics background, has turned into a very good footballer. Most recently we had Harry Sharp, an amazing athlete, handy footballer, but didn't necessarily have the decision making and I guess the footy brain that others do. Now, I remember very vividly, very early on in Brandon Starcevich's career, and I'm going to show you a couple of clips in a moment from his very second game against Collingwood. Two things stood out to me in that game, and I'm going to show them to you both, as I said, where he didn't have the biggest impact in his first season, and in fact, his second season, he only played the one game against Melbourne. He was a very late call-up for Alex Witherden, who went out sick, so maybe I'm guessing that 2019 period is when he was finding that position down back, because his first season, you'll see he was playing sort of half forward, maybe a bit of wing, maybe a bit of mid-time, didn't really have a designated position. We were down the bottom end of the ladder as well, so we could probably afford to play with that a little bit more before he established himself as a pure defender. So 2019, barely started whatsoever. 2018, didn't get into the team until about round 20. So these clips I'm going to show you are from round 21, Marvel Stadium against Collingwood. And there's just a couple of things that you can see from Starce in this that you can tell he is a footballer. All right, so this first one, very early on in the piece, this is Starce's one of his very first possessions. Only walked away with, I think, 7 touches for the match. But these two I'm going to show you, absolute elite football brain, decision-making. You can tell why he is one of the better defenders, one of the better footballers, the way he goes about it, and why he'll hopefully sign a contract towards the end of the year. All right, first clip. It starts with a hat kick from Dane Beams. That goes into about forward centre, about the centre half forward position. All right, you can see here, Starce is on the back end of this pack, just circled there. Probably in no real position to get this football. So there he goes. He gathers the ball. You can see Levi Greenwood running past. He's only focused on Dane Zorko. So his job is to run with Dane Zorko, not really interested in ball hunting. So Starce picks up the ball. He's got a decision to make here. Blast it or no. Finds Tom Cutler off half a step in a perfect position. Bit of a mung kick, if we're perfectly honest. But he put him in such a good position to run forward and kick that goal. All right, now let's watch it all in real time. Hat kick forward by Beams. And this all happens in less than 2 seconds. Gathers the ball, quick turn, bang. Straight through to Tommy Cutler, run through, goal. Now this is his second game of AFL. Now, there'll be people... This is not having a go at Mitch Robinson, but the amount of times we saw Mitch Robinson gather a ball and just dump it on the boot forward. He would have been completely forgiven in his second game of AFL for just whacking that on the boot and going for a long bomb inside 50. But he took a half second, turned around, saw Tommy Cutler in space where, let's be honest, not many other people might have or could have, and got a goal out of it. This second clip I want to show you is that on steroids. Now, it starts towards basically the same period, about half forward flank, just forward to centre wing here. It's a ball up for dispute here. So you can see it's coming in. There's Starce, 3 Collingwood players, including Scott Pendlebury and Braden Maynard. Maynard's in the best position to get that ball. Starce gets the ball. All right, so he gathers the ball. He's got a couple of options of what he can do here. Option number 1 is you absorb the tackle, you get tackled, you force a a ball up, you get numbers to the contest and you try and get the ball moving forward there. Option number 2 is you can hopefully squeeze out a handball to Steph Martin, who's running by, who then gets the ball moving forward off the left if he's got a left foot. Option 3, and low percentage play, is hack kick forward into the inside 50, as most second game players probably would. You would think that the obvious option there is try and absorb the tackle if you can, dish the handball off to Steph Martin, get the ball moving forward. Especially when you're in a team that's just about to win 5 games for the season, you'd be completely forgiven and understand if that's the play you went for. But let's have a look at what he does here. So he breaks the tackle from Maynard, and look at that. Turns around and finds Jared Berry in, look at how much space he's got. Suddenly, the whole field's opened up, and you can guess what happens at the end of this. Bez takes a couple of meters, puts the ball through, Hitwood mark, play on goal. Now, once again, we're going to watch that in real time for you now. And just think about this. Second game of AFL, you got Braden Maynard, who's not taking a backward step. You got Scott Pendlebury, who's, 250 game, one of the best players in the league at that stage, bearing down on you. And just to have that second of thought to find Jared Berry in that much space to get the ball moving forward, it is no surprise that he has forged the career he has. If this is game 2, we can see the impact he had in the final series in the back half of this year, and of course on grand final day. One of my favourites, if not my favourite player in the team at the moment, and really hope that he wants to stick around for 2025 and 2026 and beyond. So I just wanted to show that for no real reason, just I guess a little Fox Footy Zero Lab style Kane Corns close checking gear for you. But just sharing some Brandon Starcevich love. That's from game 2. Game 2.